Hello and welcome to another episode of the Silver Screen Show. I'm Alenya and tonight I am joined by Abu and Mo. How are we doing tonight, guys?
Good, thank you.
Yeah, we've had a really good day today. We've been at the MCM Comic Con at London Excel Centre.
Seeing A-list Hollywood celebrities.
Yeah, we saw Anthony Mackie. As you might know, he's Falcon from the Avengers movies.
And the guy gets ripped into in 8 Mile by Eminem at the end. That's Anthony Mackie as well. Yeah.
Yeah. We saw some amazing cosplay. One of them was Freddie Mercury.
Thank you.
I mean, I think you scared him a little bit when he shouted.
He was like, am I Freddie Mercury?
Who am I?
Like, my outfit isn't that good.
I thought the guy was dead, but turns out he was in Comic Con.
He is alive and he is at Comic Con.
A lot of Wonder Womans. That's like
a lot of Wonder
last
Woman.
year's was Harley Quinn. This year is Wonder Woman now everywhere.
Yeah, we had like Alien. We've got a lot of Star Wars.
And we even had Pitch Perfect.
Pitch
I don't know
Perfect.
how, from where.
Apparently it's got a big
I mean,
following.
Universal was there and they're promoting it, I guess. And then
They're on the wristband.
got
Universal.
to meet two of our heroes, Garrus and Rex from Mass Effect.
I can't tell you how excited I was when I saw them.
I mean, there were just people dressed as them, but that's fine. And you got a nice... Pretty real to me, yeah.
They're real to me.
My squad. And you've got a nice poster.
Yes, very nice poster. I'll put it on Instagram.
Yeah, we're going to be putting all of the photos on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
And the interview with Anthony Mackie is in full, so we'll have that up probably sometime tomorrow, so check it out.
Yeah, on our YouTube page. So let's get right into our reviews, and we will start with Thor Ragnarok. If you don't... I think, do you need to watch the first two to know what's going on?
You really have to be abducted by an alien to not know what Thor is.
To not know what Thor is.
To understand the film?
Yeah.
Probably you would.
I think so. There was a girl sat next to me and she clearly hadn't watched a Marvel movie in her life. She was turning to her boyfriend who dragged her along. I'm like, who's that? What's going on?
There's a lot of characters in it. I mean, if you want to understand the plot fully, of course, you need to know. Because this is like a 10-year journey, isn't it?
It
and
is,
it's sort of adding to it. So,
but we've got Hela as our villain, and she wants to
destroy Asgard.
Destroy everything. She wants to take over Asgard. She wants to take over not just the Nine Realms, but everything beyond it. And
ambitious.
Yeah, she's very ambitious.
She's got goals in life.
Yeah, and we have another sort of interaction between Thor and Loki, and it's like, are they going to be good brothers? Are they going to betray each other? And it's all up in the air, and they get banished, and then they have to find their way back to Asgard, and then the Hulk's in there as well, which is great.
Yeah, isn't it just a little bit?
Just a little bit, yeah. So I'm going to throw it to Mo to question us about it.
Let me go for it. So
we'll try not to spoil it too much for you.
Yeah, so this will be a no spoiler review because the film and Hulk team up and pretty much destroy Hela before she takes over the world.
Yes.
So with that in mind, my first question is the villain a good villain? Because what always happens with Marvel films are the villains are so crap and it's only the heroes carrying the films.
I think she is stunning.
She's hella great.
She's hella great. That was cheesy.
It was there for the taking, man. You got to take your...
Kate Blanchett is amazing.
She's really hamming it up, but she's loving it. Yeah.
She's really dark. She's really like glamorous at the same time.
She's got some sass to her, hasn't it?
She's got some like witty diva kind of remarks to people. She's quite sarky with people.
But she's also at the same time...
She's a really like badass fighter as well. And it's really, really cool.
She takes out
and she's got a really good backstory as well. It's really interesting.
That's amazing.
Yeah, her back's actually
it's really interesting.
Yeah, it's actually very important in the whole scheme of things. Actually, it just really turns everything. But
that's very important for a villain, right? Otherwise, you don't understand their motivations.
Yeah, definitely, because even as I'm a diehard Marvel fan, but I can admit the villains are very, apart from Loki, probably that's the only one
that's
worth.
Not really a villain, though.
Even then, he's more of an exactly. But apart from that, I mean, every other film has been very weak, and the weakest part of every film is usually the villain who's just a disposable guy, destroys, and they just never show up.
Yeah.
So I think this is she is a great adversary for us all, because it requires like a whole team just to even challenge her.
She's very powerful.
Yeah,
and she's got a killer costume. We saw the costume.
A lot of cosplay comic. You know that like she has her hair down and then she'll just go like this, and the helmet comes.
That means it's time to destroy, basically.
Like, now it's time to fight, and then
she got some emo haircut. She's like, when it's business, it's like bam. It's like it's like a costume comes on. Yeah.
Alright, and then so next up with Marvel, obviously, always the selling point is comedy. How did you think the comedy struck in this film? Was
hilarious.
It is hilarious. And
how does it compare to, say, Guardians of the Galaxy? Because that is another really, really funny film.
I think the biggest laughs here is between Hulk and Thor. So if you very invest in these two characters, you'll enjoy pretty much every single interaction they have throughout the movie. Is like hit out the park. So
I like the bit at the beginning when he's talking to Satur, the big monster, and he's like spinning. He's like, no, wait, I'm coming back round. Wait.
I mean, it's even from the opening scene, you can tell it's a totally different type of.
It is.
It's more
completely different to the first two Thor. So the first two Thor, he's very like powerful and confident and serious.
He's like, I want to be
straight
king.
laced. He's like, I'm going to be king of Asgard. And now he's very silly. He's a little bit on the bumbling side for me. There's a lot of like fumbling and like tripping over things. Thor, yeah.
I mean, he gets everyone like rips into him in the film. Like random people on the streets diss him. I'm like, come on, man. Like, show the guy some respect. Like, but that evolution's been there for a while. Like, ever since I think Age of Ultron, they've
given him more comedy, but I think this was a little bit of a step too far.
A bit too much, you'd say.
Yeah, but I think there was a little bit too much.
How about the serious parts of the film? Do they hold up?
Basically, I think the important thing here is this storyline is very important in the whole scheme of things. Like some of the other films, like Guardians 2, I mean, they had a few influences, but this one, like the whole storyline, main arc, has a big effect on like quite a lot of things,
overall,
and it's quite like serious at the end, like the whole resolution.
I think it splits it into the comedy into kind of like the first two acts is quite comedy heavy.
Yeah, but
the third act is quite serious. There's a little few witty lines thrown in here and there, but it's more about the action. It's more about his development as like a god and a leader.
Oh, okay. Oh, right.
Yeah, so
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, so the fun on like overall Ragnarok, the whole Ragnarok thing is a serious event in the whole storyline. Yeah, exactly. So the ending is pretty serious. You know, there are fatalities, there are things like that. So he has this happy-go-lucky first two bits. Yeah. The whole chapter on the planet. What's it called? Sakaar. Yeah, like the junkyard planet he's in.
Junkyard planet is
Jeff Goldblum being Jeff Goldblum.
Jeff Goldblum is hilarious.
Jeff Goldblum.
Being Jeff Goldblum.
So he plays the Grandmaster, and he organised these sort of almost gladiator fights.
It is gladiator.
And so that's how you end up with the fight between Thor and Hulk.
Of course. How is the fight, by the way, without spoiling much?
It's really good.
Is it good?
It's really good.
Yeah, it's very.
Holds up, because I was really disappointed with Hulkbuster.
The Hulkbuster, yeah.
That really wasn't a fight. That was more like containment.
This is a full-on like fist-to-fist, hammer-to-hammer.
Because they're both slightly like boneheaded, aren't they? Like, I mean, Hulk just wants to smash, and Thor's like, okay, this guy's not listening, I'm just going to beat him up as well. So
because Thor tries to talk him down, and he's like, no, we know
he's
each other, it's fine.
He's a work friend.
Friend from work.
Do you know the story behind it? Apparently,
No, I don't.
a kid on the set said, he knows him from work.
No way.
And that's where the line came from.
So they actually took it.
And they took it.
Probably got some royalties out of that.
I hope he did. But the only thing I thought with the beginning was a little bit jumpy. It was a little bit like, we're here.
Okay.
And then you get to the planet, and then it was
a lot of like
smooth.
jumping around.
It was a bit smoother.
There is also a cameo from another Marvel character.
Yeah.
I don't want to. It's a bit probably if you've seen the end credits for their film, you probably know who it is. But I mean, I didn't feel too bothered by it. I mean, I
wasn't bothered by it, but I felt it was just a little bit unnecessary.
Yeah, they could have gotten there without him being there.
It wasn't completely needed. But
I suppose you got to throw them in every now and again just to make sure that
anything makes sense. Yeah. Anything in the film that didn't work? Because everything you said sounds like it worked very well.
The director, I mean, what is it, Waikiki, right?
Taika Waititi.
Yeah, Waititi. He's done he's molded a really.
He's done a really.
The film is gorgeous to look at. It's like so colourful, so vivid. It's totally different from any other.
Even the poster is so
colourful.
The poster, I've got it. It's on my wall. I love it. I mean, it pretty much sets the scene.
It's very psychedelic.
So the entire film.
Exactly, that's what I thought about it as well.
The
so
entire movie is
pink and
totally
orange, green.
Like, the film is totally different from any other Marvel film. Like just by visually, aesthetically, it's so much bright. There's color everywhere,
and he plays a character in the film.
Oh my! This character,
the director.
Yeah.
He plays a character called Korg, which is like he's kind of like the Thing, but blue. And he's so funny. He's really dim-witted. He's really funny.
I think he's one of every time he said anything, man, the audience was in laughter. It just
and here's Doug. Oh, Doug's dead.
Oh, nice to meet you, fake Doug.
It's like
that one.
Doug.
Yeah, it's like you watch it from the beginning, but
the director took the best role.
Yeah, I mean, because like critically speaking, it's on 95% last time I checked.
It is, yeah.
I mean, that's a really good score for a Marvel.
It was on 100.
Yeah, I mean,
but even for Marvel.
For Marvel, I mean, to get that.
The director even did What We Do in the Shadows. I don't know if you've seen this. Definitely a really good watch. It's like it's in New Zealand, and it's about vampires shacking up in a house together, and it's like just vampires sharing a house and what happens when that happens. And it's really funny. So I'm not surprised he's gone from doing stuff like that. And then his comedic chops are very well formed for this.
Well, again, Marvel wins.
I
mean, how they keep doing it.
If I was going to say, like, on the downside, I'll probably just say he is a bit too comedic at times. I think
I've said this so much about Marvel. They've
this
taken...
one was seriously like, I mean, obviously Marvel is one of their things, but this one, I mean, humor is one of their things, but this one really took it.
Yeah.
Sometimes like he doesn't really need a joke at this point of the film. He can probably just hold it back and put the joke later.
It's like they've seen, in the first Avengers and the first Guardians, people like comedy, so we're gonna shove it in your face.
Yeah, literally, it's like
for 2.5 hours.
Yeah. Sometimes, like, you know what, this scene doesn't need a joke. I mean, okay, it makes a joke, made us laugh, but at the same time, you kind of think, you don't really need it.
I remember I felt the same with Guardians of the Galaxy 2, that there were just too many jokes.
That was supposed to be quite an emotive movie.
Yeah.
It does have its random emotional moments, Guardians 2, actually, but at the same time,
they're all kind of like
buried under
actors as well.
Yeah.
And they need that, and their comedy acting is so much better than the dramatic.
Yeah.
But moving on, Valkyrie.
Ooh,
She's the new like sort
Lady
of female
Lady
Sif's replacement.
I know she had contracting conflicts, but it's like not being there has made it even worse now because people have totally forgotten. Because there was people saying, was Lady Sif gone? Like, because Natalie Portman's character is not there anymore.
Yeah, I did write, where was she? But now I know that she didn't.
And Valkyrie is a perfect replacement.
Valkyrie is fantastic. So the Valkyrie are an all-female fighting force that used to fight and protect the crown of Asgard. And they went against Hela and they were just wiped out.
Elite force.
She's the last
one. She's the last remaining Valkyrie.
Yeah, and so, she finds Thor on this planet.
He kind of convinces her, you need to fight for what you believed in.
Fight for Asgard. It's like either you're a coward or you're a traitor.
This story sounds really cool.
It's fantastic.
All the characters are great. Valkyrie's amazing. Thor's great. Loki's does his part.
Loki does very well.
Hulk's brilliant.
Hulk is brilliant.
Banner as well.
I love Mark Ruffalo.
Yeah,
I just love him. He's just.
The sun is setting. Stop saying that.
The sun's getting low. It's getting real low. It's going that. Stop saying that.
So the. In Age of Ultron, not Scarlet, what's her name? Black Widow, she has a way to calm down.
The lullaby.
Yeah, like, hey, big guy, So Thor keeps on trying it hilariously.
Thor is trying that.
He goes, hey, big guy. And it's just not working, isn't it?
It just looks really cringy.
And he keeps on doing it. And please be quiet. It's not working. It doesn't work.
What I liked is at the beginning when Thor goes back to Asgard and there's a play going on of Loki's death, but it's Matt Damon playing Loki.
No way!
It's Luke Hemsworth playing Thor.
Oh my god!
And it's Sam Neill from Jurassic
Park. This is in the film.
In the film,
this is
playing
cameos.
Odin as well. It's just some random.
The reenacting.
Let's not spoil it anymore. That just sounds hilarious.
It's just you see it and you're like.
That's like Austin Powers level of cameo.
It's a great cameo. But storyline-wise, it doesn't affect anything. So
okay.
Anyway,
let's. I mean, so if you were to sum up the film very quickly, is it a yay, nay?
Definitely.
Should we watch it?
It Ragnaroks. See what I did there?
Yeah. I'd say it's a great movie. It's a great standalone movie. It doesn't really make sense when you put it with the other two, I'd say.
The other two are pretty much overridden in a sense.
It's completely overwritten, the last two, in terms of characterization.
Oh, I see what you mean.
I'd say it's just a little too much fumbling. But it's great.
What's happened with Thor's hair though? I mean,
you find out, bless the guy, when his hair does go, he screams. He's like, no, not the hair.
He's like,
why in this one is he screaming so much like a girl?
Because it's his hair and he's so precious
to it. But there's lots of bits in the film where Thor screams like a girl.
I suppose that's what the director said.
Yeah.
You're too macho, you'll never look like a woman. Yeah.
Chris, no one believes you. You need to feminine it up a bit.
The scene where he loses his hair, because he's literally got
turn down the testosterone.
Yes,
like when he comes to seeing haircut, he's literally got genuine fear and fear in his eyes. It's hilarious.
It is funny.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
But it's
another thing to watch then.
Yeah,
definitely go and watch it. Of course. Yeah. I mean, if you're going to be watching Marvel movies, you're going to see this one.
It's probably one of the better ones recently.
Like you said, this links up very well.
To it has big effect.
It's very important that we do.
I mean, if I just briefly decide, I think when Guardians came out this year, I kind of really wasn't too much of a fan of that. It was pretty much the same thing. So I was kind of like, are these movies getting a bit repetitive now? Even after a while. Guardians was pretty much Guardians 1 with a few extra bits and bobs, but this one really was different from its predecessors, which really sets it apart, I think.
And post-credit scenes. I saw people get up and leave. I'm like, come
They're
on,
not Marvel
guys.
fans. They're not.
How many films have come out and you don't know the drill?
They just came down for a date, basically. Let's just go watch 4. It's out, and like they had no idea.
But the first credit scene, it's good.
Yeah, it really has effects.
Okay.
So anyway,
There are 2 credits.
one's a jokey one.
Yeah, one's right at the end. It's a jokey one, and it's funny, and it's probably worth sitting the extra like 5 minutes for.
Yeah.
The first one, it's definitely good, definitely worth waiting for.
Right. So
That sums up
that
very,
one.
very good film.
Yes. So now we are looking at. It's Halloween on Tuesday, so we went and saw Happy Death Day, and judging by the trailer, it looks quite jumpy and quite tense and quite scary, but it turned out it's a bit of a horror comedy.
Yeah, it's not very much of a Halloween, like it's not really a horror movie per se, but it's got elements of horror.
Yeah, it's not like massively supernatural, it's not massively gory, but it's I'd say it's a good movie. But let's jump into our plot. We've got Tree, or Teresa, Tree for short, who is your sort of stereotypical
standard sorority girl, isn't it? Yeah, mean girl.
Sorority college girl. And she's
Mean Girls.
Yeah, essentially.
Regina George from Mean Girls.
Basically,
but in college version.
Yeah.
And so she's one of these mean sorority girls, and she wakes up in a dorm room after like a crazy night out, doesn't remember anything. And she goes through her day, and it's quite normal, it's quite regular, doing all of the normal horrible things that she does every day.
Gathering enemies.
Gathering enemies and, you know...
Basically, yeah.
List of suspects. And then she gets murdered. And then she wakes up, and it's the same day. So she's caught in a loop. And every day she gets up, she gets killed.
In the same
she
room.
wakes up in the same room over and over again. Very much like Groundhog Day, Edge of Tomorrow, Live, Die, Repeat.
Whatever it's called.
Whatever that tagline is. And then...
with a horror film makeup.
With a slasher kind of genre
You
on top.
described it very well. You said it's the Scream. The Scream series mixed with this.
I said it's like basically Edge of Tomorrow mixed with a bit of Scream.
Yeah.
Though, of course, I mean, in the build-up, the people were saying that it's like the throwback to a slasher movie. I kind of disagree with that in a sense. I mean, it's got slasher elements, but it's nowhere near as graphic as Scream. Like
graphic.
Scream is very like you see it.
I didn't see any blood.
No, there isn't. I mean, even if it is, it's very.
I think there's one bit where like he stabs someone and then there's blood on the knife. You never really see any spurting.
So I wouldn't give
like
it
that.
So I wouldn't really call it a slasher movie in that sense, but it's still got that vibe to it. It's a masked stalker who just follows her everywhere.
Masked stalker with a knife. And she
camp.
has to find out who's killing her, and she has to survive in order to get to the next day. But also you find that it's actually affecting her physically as well. So she's kind of running out of time in that sense. So she might actually die. So let's throw it to Abu this time.
What? Okay, what do you want?
Your good points.
Oh, do you want a good points?
I mean,
Okay.
I'd like a review, please.
I mean, what specifically? The plot, the cast, the characters, the ambience of the film. Okay, yeah.
Well, I mean...
Okay, the good. The good, I would say,
points.
it's a thoroughly enjoyable film. It's unoffensive. You're not going to go in and be angry that you wasted your time. It's not the perfect movie. I love it. It's funny. It's great. I watch it. You know what? And it's a perfectly good film to go out on a night and watch.
I agree.
The plot line's quite unique. Yep. Tree's quite an interesting character. Like her development through the film is very
I liked it.
Yeah, endearing. Yeah, there is
an arc.
Yeah, she's
part of the story.
And I think she pretty much held the film together. She's not really been in much. I had a look, but she looks an up and comer. And yeah, she did really well. I think her character really stood out. And
I thought she had like a good sort of comedic timing.
Yeah, she's got comedic chops on there.
Of like the sorority sister, then investigator, and then sort of fight strategist as well. The thing with the blackout right at the end.
At the end, it gets very like Rambo. Like she puts the hair back and like she's dons all black.
Jacket. She like puts a knife in a sheath. I mean, who has a sheath for a knife
on a college campus?
Fair point.
But yeah, I thought she was great, and because it's a looping film, you need a good enough actor to carry. Because everybody else, their dialogue is going to be the same all the way through.
Yeah,
she's the only one who really changes. But I did also like the guy who played Carter, the kind of love interest. I thought he was a nice guy.
Well, he was just a nice guy. He was a very
no ulterior motive, just a nice guy.
My opinion on the film differs a bit. I also did enjoy the film. I think the guys who make it, Blumhouse Productions, they're one of the best horror movie makers of the current day. They made Paranormal Activity, Insidious. I can't remember all the other Sinister, all those others as well. So they know what they're doing, and in that respect, the film was super polished, so well done, and even I could sense there were mistakes in directing and mistakes in tone in the film, and even then the editing was so good. It was stitched together.
I love the scenes whenever she gets murdered and she just ends up back in the bed. Like when she gets hit by the bat, she does that and falls around. I mean, that was really well. Like bits like that, you can tell the editing was really well done.
But you just mentioned that. At some point, she becomes a fight strategist. At some point, she's
but that's because she evolves. Yeah.
At some time, she's a actual bee.
She's a bee.
A mean girl.
Yeah,
let's just say a mean girl.
And at some point, she's suddenly nice, and it's very difficult to. And I think it was errors from the director's part, putting all those things in so starkly against one another. A mean girl who's suddenly nice isn't also a fight strategist with a sheet.
Also, where did she get night vision goggles from?
Tell me about it, exactly.
Campus shop.
They just have it in the wardrobe, didn't you know?
Yeah.
Don't you have one in yours?
I mean, I was at uni for 4 years. I never had night vision goggles.
Yeah.
But I was never in a sorority.
Yeah, exactly. If you're one of those Greek...
No carbs.
No carbs. We all miss breakfast.
I think
there are so many jokes like that.
That brings up a thing. I think that the supporting cast are very unique as well. So like each of them have their own little personality, and they all come down in a way where you each suspect one of them at least throughout the movie. You kind of think, okay, it could be this one, but then again, it could be that one. It keeps it guessing for a bit.
Yeah.
I mean, after a while, if you are paying attention, you can kind of piece together what's happening. But
I didn't.
You didn't.
I clearly wasn't paying attention. Me and my friend were just laughing at all.
Yeah,
of
but at some point,
sorority girl jokes.
But there's a good job of like kind of balancing out who the killer can be. But then but I didn't agree with the fact when they threw in that red herring at the end, like there could be another killer out there, and I'm like, they're trying to get too smart here. Just back it down, tone it down a bit. Don't go there and try and be like...
Because it starts off as a kind of parody of itself.
It's insulting.
It's really taking the mick out of the whole sorority culture. And, oh my God, where's my pumpkin spice latte? She doesn't even take selfies. What's wrong with her? That kind of stuff.
But then then it gets very like, I'm like, you try to be a bit too clever for the film it was. I thought you don't need this whole...
Trying to get some M. Night Shyamalan twist.
Yeah, exactly. Like, that's not the real killer then. Yeah, so I think the major flaw I had with this movie is probably when the killer is revealed, it's like it doesn't really match up with the actions they do throughout the movie, because like the killer is shown to be very heartless. Like they're not just murdering like her, they're murdering anyone who just gets in the way. Like some random guy at a party, like he just destroys like 10 times, just stabs remorselessly. And then like but when you find out the person who it is, you're kind of like, wait, he never showed that kind of tendency. Where did that come from? So
I do agree, and again I go back to my point that the director just shot different scenes together, and the editor did a fantastic job of stitching them together.
But
keeping the tone right.
What I would say is this director is Christopher Landon. And he did Scout's Guide to the Apocalypse, which
Eleni tells me is great.
Fantastic. If you like the whole sort of parody, mocking movies, things like
scary movies,
like Pride and Prejudice versus zombies, things like that, you'll like Scout's Guide to the Apocalypse. And I feel like that's more of the tone that they're going for, rather than going for a full-on like Paranormal Activity, Insidious kind of vibe.
No,
there's enough of those around.
Comedy elements, like you're saying.
Oh, it's very, very comedic.
It's so funny.
There's even a montage. I mean,
the montage
with happy music.
I know exactly.
Have a montage.
So, I mean, like I said, I wrote in the review on the blog, like, if you go into it thinking it's going to be a horror movie, it's not. So, think of it more as a mystery comedy, then you'll enjoy it a lot more. If you're expecting, like, a full-on horror, it's not. Like, at the beginning...
Comic thriller.
At the beginning, there are a few, like, tense moments, but then once the murder keeps appearing, it loses its appeal.
It melts into a comedy. The first half is very... strongly
it's quite sinister in a way.
And then
I think the first day before it starts looping,
correct,
or maybe the second day.
The first
couple of loops is very serious, and there's like bits where the music builds and it gets really suspenseful.
You got the camera angles,
and then it drops, and then it makes you jump. And I think that was really well done. And then it just went into the comedy thing and just lost that.
So it is a bit. The message is a bit confused. That do you want to be a horror, comedy.
But
then again, it didn't really affect the enjoyment of the film. It is what it is.
I had a great time. Me and my friend were just crying.
You're not going there thinking, you know, I'm expecting a masterpiece of horror. It's just, you know, it's got a bit of slash.
It's another film to enjoy.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely
same as
it's literally just in the middle of the park. It's just like
Surprisingly, this film didn't do as well as they were expecting. I mean, it's more than enough made their budget back. It was a $5 million budget film.
Yeah, I can't imagine it would be that high.
40
million.
Well, they're not happy with that.
No, because
they want to make more.
Yeah, I mean, Paranormal Activity was a £15,000 budget, and they made over 150 million or so.
Yeah, but I think Paranormal Activity had a hype though, but it also had a lot of hype behind it.
It's like CCTV footage as well.
Yeah, so Blumhouse expected this to, I think, cross 100 million or so.
Then again, the marketing for this movie wasn't that big. I mean, I didn't even know about it.
I didn't know about it.
It's only because I walked past a poster cinema. Oh, what's this?
I think I saw the trailer for it when we went to watch The Ritual, and I saw the trailer. I was like, "Oh, this looks interesting. I like loops."
Yeah.
Just repeating it. Just you don't have to think that much. It's great. So, short reviews.
I would say. I will go first.
I'll go first while we stall.
Switching.
We'll stall a bit longer for Mo's sake. We stalled enough. Okay, so. So I'll say it's a treat.
It's a treat.
It's a treat.
I will again stall for you and say it is a funny looping slasher.
I like loops.
I like loops.
I'll just describe it the way it is. Groundhog Day meets Scream.
Groundhog Day meets Scream.
Yeah.
I'm actually seeing Groundhog's Day. I need to get around to seeing it. I know it's a cult classic. It's just
I actually haven't seen it either. I know.
That's why my review is Edge of Tomorrow, because I've seen Edge of Tomorrow. I know Groundhog Day they mentioned, but I've never actually seen it, so I can't.
Yeah, they literally mention it in the film. They gave it.
But I haven't seen it, so I can't really say anything about it. So.
All right. Okay, moving on. And like we said before, it is now Halloween. So, I'm not. So. First of all, we have a re-release coming out in the cinema. We have The Shining from 1980.
Here's Johnny.
Here's Johnny.
That's all I know about that film.
Possibly Jack Nicholson's greatest parts, I guess.
I would agree as well.
Yeah.
You know, actually, that's another movie I've actually seen. It's just because it's so difficult to find, to be honest, when these older films like.
They are difficult to find.
So
I think the reason they're coming out with this one again is they have a accompanying short at the beginning, which is called Work and Play. And it talks about the sort of background and all of the work and stuff that went into making The Shining.
Like a behind the scenes kind of.
Yeah, so in 1975 they had the Steadicam that was invented, and they actually developed on the Steadicam while working on The Shining and using it in different ways, and talking about the research that they did into horrors. So
got a bunch of notes, I see.
Yeah, I know, I've got a bunch
a lot of notes.
So Stanley Kubrick and the sort of co-writer, they spent hours watching horror movies to see what exactly made a film scary.
Half of them are the Stanley Kubricks themselves.
Yeah, the science of horror.
Stanley Kubrick had an amazing line. It's a great quote. He says, "It's easy to make a film, but to make a great movie is a miracle." And it's very true. I mean, so many films come out, and we come out and we're like, yeah, it was fine.
Only certain films reach like Batman v Superman level of like perfection.
Get out!
Every show Batman v Superman comes in, man. There's always one appearance.
Once in a century, a film.
So I think you went to the screening, right?
So I went to the screening at the 20th Century Fox building in Soho Square, and they were very nice.
Does the music come on whenever you walk in?
No.
Okay.
I mean, I wish it did.
That's like when the censor, when someone walks in, the epic music comes.
Theme song coming up.
No, that didn't happen. But no, that was really interesting. And then they had an interview with the twins who played the
grown up now,
twins.
What now? As they're old?
They were
obviously not when they were kids. They're not stuck in their own time loop.
Yeah, they're still just like little children. And yeah, so that was really interesting. That was really nice to see. And then like Kubrick's daughter and brother-in-law, who's sort of business partner. And they were talking about Kubrick and all of the stuff that went into making this film. So that's really interesting. The film itself, great. I think the shots, the long shots with the Steadicam and the music really are the key points of building suspense and tension in the movie.
Rather than
I was like sitting there and the music's building. You've got like these really fast, high-pitched strings. You've got really low brass, and it just like builds and builds and builds.
You don't see much of that nowadays, do you? Just straight to jump now. Like,
it's all like someone walking in, but literally there's just these long camera shots, and I'm like getting tense in my seat, like something's gonna happen.
But they don't show it.
And then something's gonna happen, and I don't know. And obviously Jack Nicholson is fantastic.
Well,
this
is
super
pretty much
creepy.
his like his. This is like probably his.
If you look on any like scariest movie of all time, Shining's up there.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is it that scary? Because I've not seen it. So would you say it's got the hype? Like, is it really that, or is it just more like?
It's not going to give you nightmares. It's more
psychological.
Yeah, it's more psychological. The whole idea of isolation, because they're
cabin
up in
fever, isn't it?
the Overlook Hotel. They're sort of the caretakers over the winter months when it's closed. So it's like 6 months that it's just him, his wife, and his kid, and that's it.
Yeah. I think to that I'll also say, what actually is horror to some people is different from other people.
Yeah.
Some people love their jump scares.
For you, it's
for
DC.
me, I'm so bored by that. Instead, psychological horror.
I love psychological horror.
They get to your mind.
Shutter Island, man.
And you think about them, remember about them, even after you've left the theatre. Yeah. So I would say this is a very...
The one downfall, though, is, for me, Shelley Duvall. I thought she was like... and maybe it's the acting of the time.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
She's all like, but Jack... we need to take Danny out of here. And then when she's running around and she's got the knife and she's like, like Team America, running around. And she's been like, had no...
basically the damsel interest.
Yeah, no control over her limbs. And I was just like, oh, honey.
We need to talk.
We need to talk about... She was like, had smart moments, but then just, I don't know. But like, if you are lost for anything to do on Halloween, find a cinema that's showing The Shining with the work and play short at the beginning.
So will it be a wide release?
I think you need to find it online. I think you need to see if there's a cinema showing it. I don't know how wide it is going to be, but you can find out on like Park Circus website and things like that.
It's the 30th anniversary, is it?
No, it came out in 80, so 37 years.
Okay, right.
We're old.
Very, very old.
Basically. But yeah, the review's on the blog.
Yeah, the review is on the blog as well, so you can check that out. And then I've already completed Stranger Things 2, and if you haven't got anything to do...
When did that come out? Yesterday,
Yesterday. So the second season, just as good as the first. If you're lost for anything to do this weekend, watch that. And then afterwards, there's Beyond Stranger Things with Jim Rash from Community.
The
Dean! So,
what is Beyond Stranger Things though?
so it's basically a circle table like this, and he sat down with the Duffer Brothers.
So it's just a discussion about
Stanley Levy or something like that, one of the producers, and then the kids.
Oh, okay.
And all the actors and stuff. So you've got Millie Bobby Brown, you've got Finn Wolfhard.
The annoying one from It.
That.
So I've not seen Stranger Things myself actually. So if you could sum it up, how intense is it? Is it creepy, scary?
It's very creepy.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, it's not like.
Is it more like
jumping
disturbing? Like I've seen bits of it on the trailer.
It's not like that.
Isn't it?
It's creepy. It's strange.
It's strange. Oh, okay.
So
it's more alien creepy.
Okay, I see. Okay.
Anything else.
it's like a monster comes out of an alternative reality.
Oh, it came out at a good time, isn't it? Just before Halloween weekend, pretty much.
Well,
isn't
yeah,
it?
exactly.
Help yourself.
I'm sure they timed it.
Yeah, exactly.
But with the new season, you've got a couple of new characters, which is good. You've got Paul Reiser, who was in Aliens. You've got Sean Astin, Sam from Lord of the Rings. He's got he's got a part for most of the series.
I'll carry you, Mr. Frodo.
I'll carry you, Mr. Frodo. And then you've got this guy called Dacre Montgomery, who is, I thought he was Zac Efron when he first came on.
Montgomery. Often you see someone named Montgomery.
I think he's from New Zealand. Yeah. But yeah, no, he came on screen. I was like, is that? And I had to go on IMDb, but no, he's kind of budget Zac Efron. But no, that was really great. Well, I feel sorry for Will Byers. He's the kid that all this stuff kind of happens to, but the focus is on everyone around him, which is really strange. I think he should get more credit for what he's done.
But he doesn't have enough screen time in the first season anyway.
Yeah, but so in this one he has a lot more.
Does he? Okay.
Obviously, because this time he doesn't disappear. Yeah. So, and like literally, the first episode is the disappearance of Will Byers in the first season, and I'm like, he needs more recognition. Yeah. He does very well.
He acts really well, doesn't he? Yeah,
fantastically,
he acted amazingly.
And even better in the second season.
His time will come. Season 3.
Yeah, I thought he was the best actor in that first season.
But it's even better because like he kind of gets possessed at one point.
Let's not spoil anything.
I won't give
Kids getting possessed is like the
yeah.
creepiest thing
But
ever.
Millie Bobby Brown and Finn Wolfhard, their relationship develops is really nice.
Okay.
Yeah, there's some relationships that sprout that you're not quite expecting, which is quite nice. Like they were like, oh, these characters are pairing up, and these characters are pairing up, and these guys are just kind of left by themselves. We'll pair them up, and it works very well.
Oh, that's pretty good.
It's really nice. And this is the stuff that you find out when you watch Beyond Stranger Things, which only becomes available on your list once you've finished the season.
It's like a game. You can only unlock the story once you've completed it. Otherwise,
it's
bonus.
it's like unlocking the bonus material. It's really good.
Actually, I have to ask, when does 11 come into the scene? Is it very much in the beginning of the season? Unless it's a spoiler. Then
no. It's quite early on.
Okay, that's good.
No, she's in it quite a lot, but she doesn't rejoin the party until sort of later on.
Okay, all right.
I'll add it to my list. It's just everyone's been telling me to watch it. It's just you just get so much
good
stuff.
If you don't hear my opinion, I think it's a bit overhyped.
Yeah.
I think it's good.
Everything's
it's
overhyped,
TV.
isn't it?
Yeah, I mean it's good TV, but I think Netflix is so well at marketing that it's just got into people's minds.
Oh, it's everywhere.
This is something I need to watch. This is something everyone is watching.
Yeah.
So
I had a stranger on the train tell me to watch it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yo, watch it.
Stranger Things, right?
Because we were talking about it, and I hadn't seen the first
you overheard.
season. And they turned and they were like, no, seriously, watch it.
Watch Game of Thrones. It's one of those people watch Game of Thrones.
Watch Game of Thrones, yeah. And moving on to, so if you, again, are lost and you've seen The Shining, you've seen Stranger Things, and you want something else to do, we have some suggestions. So
yes.
We'll start with Abu.
I shall go first. So I'd probably say, the creepiest thing I've watched is probably The Grudge, the Japanese version.
Japanese.
Not the English one.
The English one isn't too bad actually, but the original one, I mean, the Western one isn't actually too bad when you watch it. But when you compare it,
it was okay.
It's decent, yeah. But when you compare it to the original, it's called Ju-on in Japanese. It's just so creepy. It's literally like the way it's shot is ridiculous. It just makes, because the film focuses on basically this ghost who has a grudge, ironically,
really,
and he haunts like whoever happens to go in his apartment. So it just follows all these strangers around and how they meet their demise. And the film follows basically because it follows a bunch of like women. Basically, it gives the film a lot more vulnerable feel. They're like just young, defenseless women rather than like Arnolds and Rambos and Stallones. If you followed them through the film, you wouldn't feel scared. But in this one, because it's following these just women who just live at home on their own, it builds up a lot of suspense and fear. And he has the creepiest thing. He has a creepy kid. Like everything has a creepy kid.
Always.
It's just creepy.
I think Grudge started this creepy kid.
Yes.
Scene. Grudge really did. Before that, I don't remember seeing any creepy.
I mean, when you watch this
kids,
film, man, it's like, I mean, the kid's creepy. Then the kid's mum shows up, it's even more creepier.
Oh yeah.
And the way, like, I mean, there's some scene involving like when she's going to sleep. You mess you up for a while. You won't go to sleep anymore.
There was an interview I heard on the radio with Millie Bobby Brown and Finn from Stranger Things, and people were calling in and giving them their like scary experiences, like real life stuff. And someone was like, "Oh, I heard what sounded like children running around in my attic," and even Millie and Finn were like, "Oh my god, not children! They're the scariest. We're them."
It really is like this kid is always there, and he's always in the background of every shot. So when you know things are going to go down, he appears in the background or in reflection of the window. It's all very subtle and it's done very quietly. It's not a big razzmatazz, it's not a big, flashy display. It's all very low key, which gives it a lot more of a real feel.
Okay.
So that's probably one. If you find it, definitely check it out. It's very creepy, very disturbing, and watch it with the lights off. You'll enjoy it. So
we've got the Japanese version of The Grudge.
Yeah, and another one. What's on the list? Okay, cool. This will. See, I knew it.
Running order.
We're organised. Smoothly done. The Babadook. So it's on Netflix actually. It's on Netflix.
Came out only like 2 years ago.
Yeah, but I highly suggest because it's such a good movie. I enjoyed it a lot. So this follows a kid, of course,
children,
who happens to.
Why do we have them?
Yeah, he says he lives with his mum alone, and he's saying to his mum, "Oh, this thing in my room, and it's haunting me." It's called the Babadook, and basically follows him around. And the kid's got this creepy voice, he behaves creepily, and his mum just thinks he's being an idiot. And what works here is like the Babadook isn't really actually shown throughout most of the movie, it's just enticed. He sees his presence, it's around, but you never actually see it until like near the end of the film. So it's always building on that suspense, and he doesn't really get rid of it. So I think probably with a film like Lights Out, great movie, but they reveal the monster like off the bat. Tension's gone. Whereas this one, it just keeps on racking it up, and it's very low key. It's literally just this mom, her kid in a house. There's nothing flash about it.
It's very simple.
Yeah, I think this is what makes a horror film good. I think is to keep it low key. Don't make it a massive event because it loses its basically its vibe. So just like The Grudge, it's done just them two in the house pretty much, and them going out. And yeah, definitely if you want to check a nice scary movie and you don't want to see some weird Japanese stuff.
I've seen some fancy dress of the Babadook, and some of it's really well done.
Yeah, and it's just creepy. Like when he opens up the book and the Babadook's in there, it's just like done in a really artsy way.
Right.
So
I never got into the Babadook film, so I watched it. I heard very good reviews. I watched it, and I thought it was very underwhelming.
horror is subjective, so
yeah, I think it's exactly the matter of subjectivity. But
Yeah.
I thought the film was a bit too slow. The psychological development wasn't as rewarding.
Yeah, see, that's where you two differ on
Yeah,
what you want.
I prefer
You're very much supernatural kind of
yeah.
ghosty stuff, whereas we're more like psychological stuff.
Yeah, maybe that's a fair point.
Yeah.
Actually.
So
That's how Pennywise works. He finds
so
you fear.
what do you like?
Will
Do
it-
you like the supernatural or do you like the psychological? So now, Mo, what's your sort of horror pick?
So I think you guys have given good picks. I think Grudge is one of the very, very top-notch horror films. I would also mention another foreign film. It's had remakes, English remakes.
Yeah, it's got a Western remake.
Yeah, but again, it's the original. It's a Swedish film called Let the Right One In. It follows a boy who's coming to a town and meets another girl, and the girl turns out that she's not human. She's actually a vampire.
Yeah.
The film has some of the best shot horror scenes I've ever seen. There's a swimming pool scene.
That scene is
that
incredible.
scene is literally
It's 98% on Rotten Tomatoes. I'm just looking at it now.
90%.
98.
Yeah, it's
See, is that the original one? Yeah.
2008. Yeah, it's got like Scandinavian cast.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
fantastic film. So I would highly suggest that for the Halloween weekend.
Yeah, and if you don't want to watch the Swedish one, there is an American one, and it's Chloe Grace Moretz playing the vampire, and also there is a play, which is incredible. I went in there not knowing anything about the story, and it was pretty terrifying. It was pretty ghoulish.
It's nothing to do with that. I was checking at IMDb. The director of that movie made The Snowman. Jeez.
He did. That's what we were talking about the last time. That we were expecting so much about it.
Let's not.
Oh my!
Let's not.
I'm gonna say I'm gonna call that Snowman was when it comes to December, the end of the year review. Snowman is up there. Nothing's gonna beat it. Hey, you made that? How?
I don't know.
So many questions.
We're gonna have to have one episode.
Oh, we will.
about,
End of the year.
like the disappointments, and then do the good ones.
He's already got Justice League pen down already.
Today it was like Justice League poster everywhere going.
I'm like, that's a nice post. It's like,
I hate this already.
I'm talking from the trailers. If you've seen the trailers, it looks so disappointing.
There's a 1% chance you like it, man.
This is why you shouldn't watch too many trailers.
Yeah, I've kind of stopped watching. I kind of watch it
Everyone's
whenever.
like, "Oh, have you seen the new trailer come out?" No.
We only watch it now whenever we plan to do a trailer show. Then we're like, okay, we're gonna have to watch it. Otherwise, I kind of not plan to watch it. But yeah, I think that's pretty much everything.
All right, I think that wraps up everything that we have for tonight. So enjoy the weekend, enjoy your Halloween. I hope we've given you some idea of something to do if you've got a night in. Yep.
That noise. I remember the noise she makes when she picks up the phone when she's talking.
Oh,
yeah, that's the noise.
That's pretty good.
That's the noise. Yeah.
sleep well. All right, good night. Thank you for joining us. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, everything.
All that bits and bobs.
Good
Links
night.
down there.